Welcome to Analog Tabletop.
Welcome to Last Week on Kickstarter, where I show 10 noteworthy games that launched in the past week. All the Kickstarter's links will be in the description at the bottom. All costs are in euros or United States dollars. Let's get this started.
Come at 6, he said. I know the rules well, he said. When you can't trust your friends, try Soviet Kitchen.
Wait, don't play this.
Let's go.
Really good cards, I think.
A wild variety of ingredients can be found within the hands of our Soviet comrades to create a menu of colorful dishes for Mother Russia. Each player selects one ingredient from his hand to throw into the meat grinder. The magic? Once you've all played, the colors of your ingredients will be mixed together, like in a real grinder. Kind of, just less messy. Mixing the expected color can be tricky, that's why our advanced players express their colors in such detail.
Dark gray, green,
I have a
brownish.
blueberry, rotten blueberry.
I have like a little darker blue.
Or try at least. But beware, every card has a different value of toxication. A slow and steady toxication combined with a strategic use of alcohol provides for a long survival of your guest and finally more ruble to earth.
Okay, guys.
Oh god!
Something
what was
happened.
that?
Something
I think we will get intoxicated.
Oh
happened.
no!
Wait, so we have to play something that is really calm.
How you play Skate is up to your taste. Try the challenge mode and beat the high score. For the full experience, play story mode. Unlock more cards chapter by chapter by accomplishing over 22 unique missions, using anything that's edible or at least grindable. And this is the team of Hyber.
I'm Ando. I'm the designer and illustrator of Soviet Kitchen Unleashed.
Hello, I'm Jonas, and I'm working on the back end of our software.
My name is Milena. I'm organizing the Kickstarter campaign.
And Bart is actually missing. He's in Colombia. When I started with getting deeper into board games, I recognized that there's hardly any good hybrid games, but there's loads of potential. So I decided to give it a try and make a hybrid game that is still social and also very physical. I put lots of effort into making a unique artwork and having a theme that hasn't been there before, that is not about villages or knights, but that is really about, that has a cynical touch and that is totally wacky.
A lot of you mentioned the fear that in hybrid games, the phone would stand between the people and not help the people play. So we focused a lot of our work on developing mechanics that make you play with each other instead of playing with the phone. Well, my girlfriend really doesn't like reading rules or hearing about any rules, so in Soviet Kitchen you can just start playing and it teaches you the rules while you play.
Kickstarter means a lot to us. It gives us the chance to make a game and to spread it in the world. Like we can even send it to Australia if we want to. And well, we need your help to manufacture the game. It's nearly finished. We can manufacture in August, so you can hold it in your hands in October. We try to be very quick.
This is Soviet Kitchen Unleashed, a cooperative cooking game about colors and contamination for you and 3 of your comrades. Back us on Kickstarter now. May contain traces of nuclear waste.
Soviet Kitchen Unleashed is a cooperative card game that is app-enabled, designed by Andreas Wild and published by Hyber Games. Soviet Kitchen Unleashed ends on July 23rd, costs 17 euros and releases on October of this year.
In Squirrelin... Is that a nut? Sorry, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the game! In Squirrelin' Around, you're playing as a squirrel, climbing a tree with your friends in an attempt to collect the best collection of nuts. Each turn, you'll be placing a branch on a tree, represented by a card, and then the next section of the tree base. Be careful though, as you climb higher you might notice the tree wobble and maybe even fall. You and your friends will climb 3 wobbly trees before calling it quits and determining who has the best collection. Will you win your friendly battle, or will one of your friends take the victory instead? Swirling Around combines set collection, dexterity elements in a family-friendly game for all ages. Pledge your support today so we're able to make this incredible game a reality and hit our stretch goals as well.
Squirrelin' Around is a pattern-building set collection dexterity game designed by David Pavan and Sebastian Koisner and being published by Quick Simple Fun Games. Squirrelin' Around ends on July 26th, costs $40 and releases on April 2020.
This is Swindled. Each player chose a color and got 7 cards to start. And now blue is 1 card away from being eliminated. It is now green's turn. She plays the sand in the face card on yellow. Yellow turns his cards upside down and shuffles them frustratedly. He cannot look at them for 2 turns. It is now yellow's turn, and he must play a card blindly. He pulls out the burglar card and plays it. He gets to steal 1 card from 2 different players. He steals 1 from green for revenge and eliminates her. Then yellow chooses blue to steal her last card for elimination. However, in a sudden turn of events, blue plays her last card, the rubber and glue card. Rubber and glue reverses roles and allows blue to steal a card from yellow. Blue steals a life insurance card and plays it immediately, which gives her 3 cards because green was just eliminated. This makes blue happy. This is just a small sample of the fun you can have with Swindled. Swindled has over 40 different cards, making a whole slew of mini-games which require rolling dice, drawing from a bag, or flipping a token. Gameplay is fast, yet entertaining enough to play over and over again. Can you swindle others out of their cards? Can you survive? Back us today on Kickstarter to receive your copy of Swindled.
Swindled is a take-that party card game designed by Dustin Fawcett and is self-published. Swindled ends on July 25th, costs $23 and releases on December of this year. The Always Green Garden is an area control hand management game designed by Daryl Jones and published by Splattered Ink Games. The Always Green Garden ends on July 26th, costs $26 and releases in March of next year.
It's time to sharpen thy shovel once again. Shovel Knight makes his auspicious return to Kickstarter in Shovel Knight Dungeon Duels. Based on the highly successful crowd-funded video game and made in close cooperation with Yacht Club Games, Shovel Knight Dungeon Duels is a competitive side-scrolling dungeon crawl miniatures board game for 1 to 4 players. Each player plays as a different colored Shovel Knight. Players will be shoveling out justice in spades against the evil order of no quarter. while trying to grab the most treasure to prove that they are the one true Shovel Knight. Players will collect treasure by digging up dirt mounds and defeating enemies. While moving through the stage, players may have to jump over spiked pits. If you fail to make the jump, you are defeated and will drop half of your total treasure. Don't worry though, just like in the video game, Shovel Knight has infinite lives. Be sure to hurry and pick up your lost treasure, or your loss may be someone else's gain. After all players have gone, the enemy will then move and attack following a simple AI system. Be careful not to let their assault bounce you into a pit. At the end of each round, the stage scrolls sideways, removing the last tile to the left and placing a new tile on the right side of the track, recreating the side-scrolling action of Shovel Knight. Any models that fall off the left side of the screen are instantly defeated, so you better keep up the pace. In Shovel Knight Dungeon Duels, players will have several options of dungeons to explore that each represents different locations in the video game series. While exploring the dungeons, you may find powerful relics. These relics can help give a player the upper hand by performing special abilities or by mitigating dice rolls. While players may not directly wound other player knights because, well, that's just not the code of chivalry. However, players may accidentally knock each other into spiked pits. Players may also discover the Merchant Chester, where they can spend their treasure to purchase equipment upgrades. After all players have made it through the side-scrolling dungeon, they will enter the final boss room to face off against one of the infamous Knights of the Order of No Quarter. Boss enemy actions are dictated by boss AI cards that show their attacks and movements. Attacking a boss will grant you a lot of treasure. But when a boss hits you, it forces you to drop some of your treasure. Once the Knight from the Order of No Quarter is defeated, players will count their total treasure. Whichever player has the most treasure at the end of the game is the one true Shovel Knight and is the winner. Shovel Knight Dungeon Duels comes with 4 Shovel Knight models, 8 Bone Clang models, 8 Propeller Rat models, 6 Gold Armor models, 6 Wisdom models, side-scrolling game tiles, King Knight model, Spectre Knight model, Plague Knight model, the Enchantress model, Boss Room tile, side-scrolling dungeon tile track, relic cards, equipment cards, spawn cards, 4 hero player dashboards, 1 rulebook, and tokens. With your help backing this project, we may be able to unlock more content from the amazing Shovel Knight video game series. All backers will automatically receive the Shield Knight Hero model. Thank you for your support. And remember, for chivalry!
Shovel Knight Dungeon Duels is a dice-rolling take-that game designed by Jonathan Phillips Bradford and published by Panda Cult Games. Shovel Knight Dungeon Duels ends on July 27th, costs $70 and releases on July of 2020.
Ah, wonderful! You're awake. I am Dr. Cornelius Hugh, and I need your help. Allow me to explain. The 5 realms are in trouble. Everything you see is painted with a colorful magic we call chroma. Chroma is life. It grants unique powers, allowing us to create incredible things. And it is running out. A black, life-sapping ooze known as Acrom is infecting everything. It is consuming chroma and converting it into a dark energy. Acrom's corruption grows with destruction, fear, and conflict. Across the realms, Acrom and Chroma are wielded as weapons. Our people are at war, our heroes fighting one another. We are divided. Then there's you, and the others like you. You can turn the tide. But first, you must choose a side.
Achroma Chronicles of the Five Realms is a hand management take-that card game designed by Jack Constantine and is self-published. Achroma Chronicles of the Five Realms ends on August 2nd, costs €20 and releases on November of this year.
Are you getting tired of peaceful game nights? Is having fun with friends and family getting boring? Well, spice it up with wildfires, earthquakes, and/or zombie apocalypses in the new game, Masters of Mayhem. Masters of Mayhem is a tile-laying game in which your goal is to completely decimate your friends. How do you do that, you may ask? The answer is really quite simple: by causing destruction with natural and unnatural disasters alike. Here's how you play the game. Every player gets 3 destruction cards and 1 city tile. Everyone puts down their tiles adjacent to each other and places 5,000 people on their own cities. Then every player rolls to see who gets to go first. Jimmy gets to go first. Jimmy can either play a card or skip his turn. Look, Jimmy's chose to curse his best friend with a plague. Once everyone has had a turn, a new round begins. Every populated city increases by 1,000 people, and every player gets a tile and a card. Once all this is done, a new round begins. This continues until everyone is dead, but one color, and there is one Master of Mayhem. Abduct your friends, start civil wars. It's chaos for the whole family. Say goodbye to board games that take hours to play and get Masters of Mayhem. You can support this game by purchasing a copy for $60. Or if you want to help develop it, you can become a beta tester and get unique cards that won't be in the game for only $140. Start the apocalypse today. Masters of Mayhem is not responsible for any mass genocides, racist behavior, alien invasions, global pandemics, radical uprisings, mass evacuations, firstborn deaths, and/or limbs lost during gameplay.
Masters of Mayhem is a take-that player elimination game designed by Elijah Miller and is published by Miller Bros. Games. Masters of Mayhem ends on August 4th, costs $60, and releases on December of this year.
Ever want to play a trading card game based on real life? If you're anything like me, you grew up playing those games as a kid and loved them, but always realized one fundamental missing part: their animals are fake. Birdscapes is a trading card game that combines a fantasy collecting creatures with real-life birds. Birdscapes is a captivating game for the card game fanatic, but don't worry if you're not one, because the starter pack is super fun and playable amongst the family as well. In the first round, players will begin with 9 cards in their hand and flip the top habitat card onto the playing field. Players will then place their bird card around the habitat to compete to win a territory point. See these 3 initial stats? Players win a territory point for the round if they have the highest number in more categories between all their birds than any other player in that territory. For example, this Greater Roadrunner wins against these 2 other cards because it has the highest initial stat in 2 of the 3 categories. However, these numbers can be adjusted in 4 other ways. Habitat bonuses are indicated by the small habitat icon next to the number, indicating how much to add onto each initial stat to bolster the bird's strength. Flocking bonuses can also add to a bird's strength with each bird of the same type that flocks together. For example, if these 3 Bullets Orioles flock together, you would add 1 for each additional flocking bird, creating a total of +2 to their initial stats. Initial stats can also be affected by bird effects, such as the Northern Mockingbird, whose initial power stat equals that of the highest power bird in that habitat. Lastly, action cards can also affect a bird's stat by either hindering, helping, or disabling a habitat altogether, depending on its effect. For example, urbanization causes an effect that keeps all birds from being able to add on habitat bonuses. If 2 or more birds tie for the win in a category, the rarer bird card wins. If this fails to determine the tiebreaker, players result in a tie for that category. After all the territory points are calculated and written down, players will then have a chance to migrate the birds to another habitat, leave birds at the habitat they're already in, or discard the bird to pick up a new card. After this, players all draw 1 additional card from their deck into their hand and start a new round, adding 1 more habitat card into play. At the end of all 8 rounds, players calculate territory points, and the player with the most points wins. Now that you've seen how the game works for yourself, go out and buy Birdscapes on Kickstarter. We've been working really hard to bring Birdscapes to launch, and we can't wait to keep growing this game with new birds and new habitats. Thank you for your support, and please don't forget to share it with your friends and family.
Birdscapes is a hand management take-that card game designed by Jeremy Knipp and is self-published. Birdscapes ends on August 4th, costs $20, and releases on November of this year.
How to play?
Weird Alchemy! Game setup. Remove the 5 accident cards. Shuffle the deck. Deal 3 cards out to each player. Shuffle 4 accident cards back into the deck. Shuffle the deck. And then put the last accident card on the bottom. You are now ready to play Weird Alchemy. On your turn, you may play a pass card to pass cards to other players. Then draw a card and play moves on. Unless, kaboom! An accident is drawn. Players reveal their hands, claiming any creatures they have. If magic is revealed, it is resolved after the creatures are claimed. If an interrupt is revealed, they are played after a magic is resolved to cancel the effect of that magic. Scoring. The game ends when the final accident is drawn. Creatures are claimed and then magic is resolved as normal. Set of 3 matching creatures is worth 0 points. Creatures on their own are worth 2 points. And it's 1 point for every 2 cards in your hand. The player with the least amount of points wins the game! Yay!
Weird Alchemy is a hand management card game designed by Chris Winterburn and is published by Clever Unicorn Games. Weird Alchemy ends on August 4th, costs $9, and releases on December of this year.
Hi, I'm Ray Merritt, and this is my good friend Joff Bradford, and together we've created Dig Dig, a game inspired by a classic we discovered as students a long time ago. The rules are simple. Everyone gets 3 cards face down, no peeking, 3 cards face up, and 3 in your hand. Swap your best cards over, the player with the lowest number goes first. Continue playing higher numbers until one of you can't go. If you can't go, you've got to pick up all of the played cards so far. Don't worry, there are power cards to help, like a ninja, which you can play instead of a number, or boom, which makes all of the cards go to the compost heap, meaning no one has to pick them up, or limbo, meaning the next player has to play a low number, not a high number, and then there's drop, which resets the play back to 1, until finally we run out of cards to draw. You've played the top 3 and you're left with your face down cards. Much like your Moley counterparts, you've got to play these last 3 cards blind, hoping you don't get it's a 1. So, if you like worms, find molehills in the garden a touch annoying, like quick and easy rules with fun, colourful artwork, please back our Kickstarter and we will send you our game.
Dig Dig.
Dig Dig is a hand management Take That game designed by Geoff Bradford and is self-published. Dig Dig ends on August 5th, costs €18 and releases on December of this year. I am also giving this my Kickstarter of last week for its gameplay ideas and quick gameplay. And that's it for this last week on Kickstarter. What games did you like from this video? Comment down below. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope to hear from you next last week.